So Natalie, I was I want to start just by saying congratulations on this and congratulations as well on Language Lessons, which was my favorite movie at South by Southwest this year.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. So this is familiar to you. This
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I kind of wanted to start by asking about, your year in general, because you had such like an up and down where you were about to start production on this when everything shut down. And then, a year ago, you were probably in a state, I assume, where you didn't know when or if you were going to be able to make, your first movie as a director. And now at this point, you've got not one, but two movies both out, and they're both remarkable. So what's kind of been this whirlwind year? What's this whirlwind year been like for you?
it's as you said, been whirlwindy and insane. I'm actually in the same room where I shot most of Language
Oh,
Lessons,
wow.
currently right now. It was yeah, we got shut down like the Friday before the Monday when we were going to start filming, which means that we had done all of pre-production and everything that goes along with that, and we're ready to go. And so then we got shut down, and the whole world got shut down. And as you said, I didn't know if the movie was ever going to come back, or what we were going to do, or if, I had no idea. And then I Language Lessons I made during lockdown in the middle of that. And then while I was like finishing up editing Language Lessons is when I went back to Syracuse to finish shooting, or to start shooting Plan B. So it was really kind of crazy because I made my first two features simultaneously, which
Yeah.
I'd never planned on and was very bizarre. It just sort of happened the way it happened. And yeah, I mean, Language Lessons I think will be out to the public later this year, but it did go to the festivals, which I'm so in awe of and shocked by. Although I've never had a movie at any festivals because it was my first feature and I didn't get to go to any of them
Yeah.
because of COVID. I would have loved to have gone to South by or Berlin. But it was really amazing to have it out in the world, and especially that particular movie is, a movie about connection. And so it was nice to have that out in the world. And then this is so vastly different than that. This movie is so completely different than that I think the good thing about it is I don't think you can really pigeonhole me as a director right off the bat, which is exciting for me.
Yeah, like you really couldn't have two more different
I
movies to
know.
be. And it's funny because of the way that they're coming out, like they're both getting billed as being, your directorial debut. And it's like, well, I guess kind of they both are.
Yeah,
Um,
I know it's hard to say there. It was really simultaneous, so it's hard to say.
yeah. And Language Lessons, you and Mark Duplass wrote together, but Plan B was from a different script. And I was curious, when you were reading that script, what was it for Plan B? What was it for you that kind of lit that spark where you knew that you needed to be the one to direct this movie?
I mean, I just saw so much potential in this in the characters and in the story, and I had never seen I grew up loving these like teen R-rated comedies, as I think we all did, right?
Yeah.
It spoke to us in a way that was like, adults don't get us. This is what it's really like. We curse and we talk about sex. And I still love those movies as an adult because I think they really let you let loose in a way, as a teenager. And I had never seen a movie like that A had two women of color as the leads, but also all of the quests in those movies were like, we got to get the alcohol for the party, or we got to get to the cool party, or we got to get my dad's car back in time. They're not, we got to get basic health care.
Yeah.
And I loved the idea of sort of subverting the genre in that way of having a crazy, insane R-rated comedy movie that had all the same feelings as the ones that we were used to, but at its core, the stakes were real and really high, and so I like that. But to answer the latter part of your question, had no idea. Like I thought that they would never give me the job because I didn't have any feature directing experience. And so when I met with the producers who had the script, who are the creators of Harold and Kumar and Cobra Kai and all of that, John and Hayden, I was like, there's no chance I'm going to get this, but I'm just going to give them my pitch for it because I really do see it as something that could be great. And so I pitched my little heart away, knowing that it was a small chance, but they took a chance on me. So I feel very lucky about that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel lucky that they did too, because I really, there is a universal quality to the movie. And I think that it matches this like balance, right? Where you are subverting those tropes and people who maybe haven't been able to see themselves on screen in this kind of movie before are seeing themselves. But there are those universal qualities that have always allowed people to relate to those kind of teen movies. How was it for you striking that like right balance of the universality with of it with like the specificity of it?
I think, I've said this before, but I think it's easy because while I may look to somebody as a very specific person,
Yeah,
I'm queer, I'm Latina, I'm a woman, whatever you want to say about me. I'm also just a human like you,
yeah,
and I have like regular life things, and things are funny, and things are sad, and things are
yeah,
weird. So it's not difficult for me to make that universal because I have the same experience. We all have the same experiences when it comes down to it. So I have said before, and I guess it's sort of turning into a little bit of a life's mission, a work's mission, is
yeah,
that like we need to tell stories about marginalized people that are not only about how they are marginalized, because that only continues to otherize us. And those stories are important because they're historical and they're probably also present day and they need to be told. But also, it's important to have the mundane and the regular and the funny and the tragic and all of the in between that has nothing to do with the specific labels that other people put on you, because those are just parts of who you are. They're not who you are. So I think that inherently makes it universal.
yeah, exactly. It's like if you're centering the humanity of it, like that's you're centering how we're
Yeah.
all similar, and everybody
Yeah.
can relate to everybody in some ways.
Right.
And that idea of finding that balance is kind of transferred as well through the subject matter of the movie, where the quest is to get, birth control. It's very immediate. It is a very heavy kind of, quest that has like ramifications, but you're also putting it through this lens of a teen comedy, right? Like a raunchy teen comedy, and not, we've seen movies about this kind of subject matter that are very dour. But what was it about wanting to put that through the lens of the teen comedy that really appealed to you?
I mean, I just, because it's real life. Like, real
Yeah,
life is tragic and hilarious. And especially for women, like, every day for women is, you go out on the street and it can be terrifying and it can be funny and it can be all the things in one. And that to me is realer than anything else, and that is what spoke to me, because I mean that's what I relate to. Like,
yeah,
there's we always talk about that's my dog, by the way. We always talk about like, people laugh at funerals.
yeah,
People, there's really insane and absurd situations that happen in really sad, tragic moments. And especially on the other hand of this, it is such a it is such a fabric of our American lives, especially that young girls and women and teenagers and people in general have a difficult time getting basic health care, and especially sexual health care. That it isn't some big special thing. It's just the norm.
yeah,
So if it's the norm, then it's just part of your everyday life. So that's what spoke to me. I never like preaching to the choir, because that's not fun to
yeah.
watch and it's not fun to do. But when you just tell it like it is, then suddenly you're like, I think it not only becomes relatable, but maybe it illuminates something for people who don't know that life is like that for some people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it conveys the message, right, without it being like a message movie. And
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
I think it's done so well. And I've got to wrap, but I just want to say again, like congratulations on both of the movies. Language Lessons like hit me exactly where I needed it to hit me in the moment. And I'm sure Plan B is going to do that as well for so many people. Like they're both such great movies. And I want to say it was just great speaking.
Oh, thank you, Mitchell. That means so much to me. Thank you so
Of course.
much.